Hello and welcome to another video in the series History of Architecture Briefly Told. In this video, we will cover Romanesque architecture, a style that dominated medieval Europe roughly between the 10th and the 12th centuries AD. First, we have to look at the name itself. The term Romanesque literally means in the manner of the Romans. It was a style that emerged as Europe began to stabilize after the Dark Ages. With the rise of monasticism and the popularity of religious pilgrimages, there was a sudden need for larger churches to house the traveling crowds and the relics of saints. While it did borrow the rounded arch and the barrel vault from the ancient Roman architecture, Romanesque architecture developed a distinct character of its own. If we were to describe this style in one word, it would be massive. Unlike the open and airy feel of later styles, Romanesque buildings were heavy, solid, and fortress-like. They were often referred to as fortresses of God. Now let us categorize the characteristics of Romanesque architecture into three main fronts: the structure, the plan, and the decoration. Starting with the structure, the defining feature of this period is the rounded arch. You will see this in windows, doors, and arcades. Because the stone roofs were incredibly heavy, the walls had to be very thick to support the weight. This meant that windows had to be small and narrow, resulting in dim, atmospheric interiors. To hold up the roof, they utilized the barrel vault, which is essentially a continuous arch, and later the groin vault was developed, which is formed by the intersection of two barrel vaults. Next, we look at the plan. Most Romanesque churches followed the Latin cross plan. This is different from the centralized Greek cross, which we saw in the Byzantine video. The Latin cross has a long nave that is crossed by a transept. Crucially, to accommodate the pilgrims we mentioned earlier, they added an ambulatory sometimes. This was a walkway that curved around the back of the altar, allowing visitors to walk around the chapels without disrupting the service in the center. Finally, the decoration. While the structure was heavy, the decoration can be quite intricate. A key element introduced here is the tympanum. This is the semicircular decorative wall surface over an entrance, bounded by a lintel and an arch. It was almost always carved with religious sculptures, often depicting the Last Judgment, serving as a visual lesson for the people entering the church. We also see the use of blind arcades, which are the arches attached to the wall for purely decorative purposes. If you would like to see these principles in action, I suggest you look at two notable examples. First is the Basilica of Saint Sernin in Toulouse, France, which is a perfect example of a pilgrimage church. The second is the Cathedral of Pisa in Italy, which is quite famous for its leaning tower, which shows the Italian variation of the style with its detailed marble arcading. And that's it for this video. I hope you learned something and thank you for watching.